Alright guys, I'm back on here again. Just about a half a mile into this road here off of the pavement. It's just across the highway and through that little town that you see on the last video from across the street from the gas station. Across the highway, I should say. I'm going to drive through these mountains here. Yep, just have a good time. I don't know if there'll be any snow or not. It looks like a lot of it's melted, so maybe, maybe not. I'm going to head over to a town called Pinto. And I got to go easy on gas. So, yeah, can't drive around too much, but yeah, enjoy it, you know? Here we go. That's another thing I gotta be careful about. Probably not around here so much though, but further in. This is Newcastle Reservoir Road I'm on. There's a reservoir up in here. As you can see the dam right there. Slow her down a bit. I need to get out and do something. You know, that video I made the other day, and was so shaky. I tried to mount it on a mount. Didn't work so well. So I'll just hold it so it's not so shaky. Smoother over here, maybe. A little bit squishy though. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, we're alright. Don't look too muddy. The reservoir. Newcastle Reservoir. Cute little thing, ain't it? Not a real big reservoir, but it's there. think it might be alright, as long as it doesn't get too muddy anywhere. There's a lot of snow, then, well, see what that's like. I drove a two-wheel drive on these mountain roads a lot with snow. Two-wheel drive Jeep, so it should be fine. Of course, I never tried it when they were real wet or muddy. Right now, the ground's not saturated, so. But that don't mean the surface mud can't get you. But I'm going to assume that it probably won't today. And now I'm feeling more warm because I'm getting a little bit closer to St. George right now. It starts to get a little warmer, you know, further south. But it's not hot. So it's going to thaw things out a bit more. Whee! If I need four-wheel drive, that might be the point. I might want to think about turning around and not go further, but we'll see. Because these kind of roads are unforgiving. These mountain roads are. You get into a spot where you can't get out of, that's it, you got to get help. And mountain roads anywhere, that's for that matter. Some of them will be gated, but in some areas they're not gated because they don't have snow for long enough. Or enough snow for that matter. And if there is enough snow, a guy just turns around. It's usually in a place where it's shady a lot and gets drifts at the same time. Fills in with 4 or 5 feet of snow drift. Some places. And I could take you somewhere, but it's going to be another day, another week, if there's going to be enough snow up there by that time. But there's a pass called Jacksonton Wash Road, I think, or something like that. It's a pass road also. It's got these areas on it that get filled in with snow. You can't go around, can't get through, you gotta turn around. A little bit sludgy or slushy. That was loud. Whee! Never use too much throttle on a hill with snow on it. It'll just spin your tires and you won't go nowhere. Can't have too much momentum either. Then it would be uncontrollable. The road's unhappy right now as it is. It has ups and downs and slicks and dry and all kinds of different conditions. Could be fun on a four-wheeler if you wanted to get all muddy and wet. It's not like that other road. I made a second video on my channel. It's not like that road. It's got more solidity to it than that one. So I'm not too worried. Not yet. You know, Jeeps can do pretty good in the snow and mud. And this road ain't too terrible when it gets muddy, as far as I know. But it's one of my favorites out here. And the reason I say that is because of the kind of scenery it has. It's not real long, 10-15 miles or so, I guess. I don't know. It goes a couple of different places from a little old cowboy town called Pino. And goes either further south to over to Pine Valley, or you can go, I think, southwest over to the Highway 18, kind of close to Newcastle, or I mean Enterprise, not Newcastle. Newcastle's where I just came from. So that should give you a gist of where we're at and can go. There's another road that also, trying to think here, there's two. Yeah, this one will be heading into Pinto from this way, going this way. And then there's another one that heads out of Pinto going over to Highway 56, a little ways past Irontown, closer to Cedar, or towards Cedar City, and then it goes over to Pine Valley or over to Highway 18 near Enterprise, on the other side of the pass from Enterprise. So some of these roads are dangerous though when it's wintering, like a couple 4 or 5 inches of snow can make them dangerous. Even just a little bit of snow, or even a little bit of wetness, you're going a little too fast and you try to turn, it ain't happening. You're going off the road. So keep that in mind if you choose to do what I'm doing. And a lot of people try and do alright, probably. But sometimes when you're not paying attention, you're the guy that got stuck. Or rolled off the road, or into a small ravine, or like I did with the other Jeep. And I'll show you where that's at when I get there. It's not but another mile or so. I'm going to show you. I was going about 22 miles an hour, approximately. Not too fast under regular dirt road conditions, but it came to dry. It was all dry, basically. A little bit muddy, maybe. It came to pavement where the bridge was at, and there was also little loose pebbles there. So coming around the turn there, and it started slipping on the little bit of mud, and so like hit the brakes to slow her down, and well, as soon as it got to the pavement part, it started skidding on the front, and right away that caused it to want to run into the side pole there, the bridge. So I let off the brakes, I still had enough speed, and then it got grip that it pulled me right off the bridge. Bloop, like it was on a track. Not very fast, just fast enough to ruin my day. That day. But that thing had 345,000 miles, I think. 365,000, whatever it is, it's a lot. So, not a big loss. I got it when it had 136 or 38,000 on it. Yeah. For $550. 550. Nobody wanted it because it was a two-wheel drive. It's a lot of work to change them into a four-wheel drive. A lot of work. So that's probably worth it to pay the money. This one was $2,300, which is a fair deal. Engine's had some work done to it that I won't have to do to it. So, however, the head was never done, I don't think, because once in a while it drops oil into the valves through the stem seals. And when I hit the gas, it'll bring a big puff of smoke, you know, if it's been idling for a little while, say on a cold night when I'm sitting, you know, push a bunch of smoke out when I go somewhere, you know, to even 1,000 RPMs. It dried out a little bit more over this way. I hope I haven't got that too low. I'm just resting my arm a little bit here with my elbow on my knee. Whoop, squishy. Slow her down a little bit before. There we go. Whoa, don't go that way. There you go. Stay right there, baby. Let her ease on down the hill. The brakes aren't going to work anyway with that much muddy road. But it's got resistance to it, so I'm alright. As long as I don't go slamming on the gas. Yeehaw. Come to think about it, I don't have any tire chains in here. Whoops. They're not real effective in the mud, but once in it depends on the terrain, but sometimes they can work in the mud pretty well. My dad had them on the old forklift when we were pulling an old motorhome with junk. Had two flat tires on one side, and it was just in the area where we did our junking, you know, little property a friend of his was letting him use, and we had to pull it across to another spot where I don't know, I think it was drier ground or something. My dad was worried about the wet ground. It kept getting stuck pulling on the motorhome, and we had the van hooked up to the front of the forklift, and he was on the back, or on the front of the motorhome, and he was pushing on the back with the forklift. But we couldn't get it to go. It was just stuck out there. And so we went the next day and got some tire changed for the forklift, and that made all the difference. Got that motorhome out of that muddy area and up into the dry area. We even already had tire chains on the van, or we had a van at the time. It just didn't have the oomph and puckies to pull that motorhome by itself, with it being stuck and flat tire. Spinning through the mud. Woohoo! Speaking of mud. And just in front of the motorhome, about 8 feet in front of it, was dry dirt where we had the van. But still needed a tire change. So it wasn't perfectly dry, it was just pretty solid. Like right there on this part of the road, and then here's the muddy part, you know. How far ahead was the bridge? I guess it's because I'm driving slower, it just seems longer. Getting closer. Taking a bit of a risk here, but I need some adventure. I've been sitting at home for almost 45 days for most of those 45 days. I went to town a few times, that's about it. I hear a rock in the brake. Squeak, 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 squeak. I think it fell out. You know, I bought a lot of these steering wheel covers until I bought a Dickies brand. I haven't had to buy one since. It's a good brand, Dickies. Ooh. I'm not sponsoring anybody because I don't do those kind of videos, but I like telling people what's good. Give her four-wheel drive here. That helps so it don't spin the tires so much. I like to keep the road nice if I can. Not that I'm the only one driving on it. But my dad used to say, if you got four-wheel drive and there's a good place to use it, why not use it? Good old dad. He was a serious guy, but he was a funny old fart too. I guess I mirror after him in that way. But I'm not as serious, I don't think. Ooh, with the four-wheel drive on, it acts a little different on the downhill. Soupy, just a bit. Jeeps love mud soup. Well, actually I should say all SUVs that have a tendency for off-roading, they love the mud soup. Yes, they do. You want to find places that's got good bottoms, but yeah, that mud soup, they love it. It's called mud bogging. Can get stuck in it though, you can get stuck in it. almost to the bridge. I think it's down through these trees here, up here. So then I can just give you a quick show you. We'll do a quick examination of the area. You know, it's hard for people to see it as it is, but right now I'm doing spiritual work. Even though I'm not really teaching it at the moment, I guess I am now. I am spreading positive energy into the forest and the trees right now. I know that sounds kind of funny, but that's what the angels are asking me to do when I'm out in nature. It's just a thought process, you know, energy of positivity in my mind. According to ancient knowledge, when you do that, the earth attenuates to it, I think is the word for it, you know, meshes with it and then amplifies it to spread the same positive high energy all over the area that has been sensed at. So from here to wherever I go, it will be amplified and fill the area with positive spiritual energy. Isn't that pretty neat? Look up ley lines. L-E-Y. That's what I'm affecting. The area needs to be healed, basically. Nature needs it just as much as people do. It picks up negativity too and stores it. A lot of it these days in the world, and it can be fixed easily. Just not a lot of people doing it nowadays, but our ancient ancestors did it with pride and with stamina, or continuance. I guess it doesn't take a whole lot of stamina. Here's the bridge. See that turn up there comes and this fence goes over right there? That's where I come up around the turn there and didn't have much else that I could do there, you know. So naturally I ended up in a rough situation. I'm just gonna pull off the road here. It should be dry enough, I think, under the snow, or frozen enough. Let's hope. Or else I'll be calling the tow truck again. I didn't even have to call them. They come by just about 10-20 minutes after I had the accident. Somebody did. It was, oh, I forget the name of the towing company now. Anyway, nice guys, like most of them are. Just expensive, that's all. It ended up right here, kind of like that, upside down. Come off the bridge and the back tire come across that pole right there and just kind of sucked me down like going down a drain right down into here. Yeah, you can see it did damage there. Not enough to worry about, obviously. Sorry, I'm a little shaky because it's a little bit scary to be standing here on the edge of this slick hill. It's hard enough to climb out of there when it's dry. Anyway, yep, that ruined the rim and damaged the tire pretty good, but I was able to use the tire up for the most part. Oh, I think I still got the rim. I'll see if I can find it at home and take a picture of it to go with the video. I don't know, we'll see. Is this blurry or is it just me? I don't know. This thing's been unhappy with me lately, so anyway, yep, that was that day. September, I think it's 2024. Yeah, 2024. Yep. Anyway, alrighty. Get going here again. This looks like it'd be a nice place to camp out, but it's not a designated campsite. Nobody ever camps here. I think it gets cow pies in it. Probably why. My guess is anyway. I don't know. There's a lot of places like that. You wonder why no one's got a camp spot set up in the nice area, you know? Alright. Back up onto the road here. Seems to be solid. Good to go. Right here, come around, turn right there on the outside of the shoulders where my tires were sliding out to. As soon as I got to the pavement, which is covered with mud right now, it started skidding and almost run into that fence there. Went off the brakes and then whoop, over I went off the bridge over there behind us. Whoops, I had my finger in the way. Yeah, I almost hit that pole there. Coming around the shoulder here, you know. Started skidding on the outside of the shoulder because of it was a little muddy. I didn't expect it to be, well, kind of like it is now, but it was a little drier. I didn't expect it to be like that, but it was raining off and on that day, so that's why it was muddy a little bit. But I had grip for the most part, but once I hit them dry pebbles, it was all done over. Yep, no more grip for your front tires, presto. Slippery right there. Gotta roll down the windows and back here. It's getting warm through the window. I don't even need a coat on at all. At least inside the vehicle anyway. This is where this drive gets pretty nice, actually. It was already really nice, but now it gets more fun. I think I'll make the video 50, well, yeah, maybe an hour long. 50 minutes is not enough for this length. At the slower speeds I'm going anyway. Went about 15 miles so far. So it's a little further than I thought through here. That's alright though. Because we're having fun. sketchy. I always did like that feeling of driving on frosting. Mud cake. I wish it was chocolate. Boy, that'd be a lot of chocolate, huh? Chocolate. How pretty it is around here. Yeah. Come driving through here if you're near southern Utah. You won't regret it. Just maybe do it when it's more dry. Late spring will be drier if it ain't rained a lot and the snow's melted all the way. It won't be too hot. Early fall as it starts cooling down, usually alright. Just not as beautiful in some areas, you know, where you're used to seeing a summery look, you know. Summer look, summery. But winter or fall into winter has its own set of beauty points, you know. I got some other video. It's got music from my stereo in it. I don't know. They'd probably get a copyright strike on that. I don't know how that works exactly yet, but I'm gonna find out soon. Anyway, got some autumn fall colors in that one. Over by the Enterprise Reservoir. More in the back country, but over by the Enterprise Reservoir. 5 or 6 miles away. Yeah. It's beautiful out there. And the thing is, if you know where you're going, you can make a real nice day out of a good drive. Just over there. Can't go real fast because the road's not the greatest. A lot of uphills and ravines and canyons, but you can make your way all the way into Nevada through the mountains, or you can go over to St. George from that way. Just all depends on where you want to go. More towards Ivins than towards St. George, but yeah, you go through Ivins to St. George after getting back to the highway near Ivins. Ivins is just a little mountain town, sort of. Not in the mountains, but yeah. St. George is sure getting filled up. Pretty busy there now. But it gets hot there. Kind of like, you know, Las Vegas does. Some summers can be 120 degrees. And just the way the weather is, sometimes it'll hold it until midnight. Finally cool down. Nuts. And it does it up in here, around here too sometimes. 70 degrees at night, 75. Seen it 78 one summer night in 6 years ago or so. All about till 3:30 in the morning. That was a really hot day. 118. That's pretty hot for up here. That, and then it cooled down a little bit further in the afternoon to 112. And then once the sun finally went down behind the mountains, it went to 105. Stayed that way till 8:30 or so. Finally cooled down some more. One hot day. And night. Yeah, that's the day I ruined the generator too. It overheated and burned itself up. I was trying to run a washer because I had pretty warm hot water from the sunlight, and when swamp cooler was running too off the generator, and so when I went to start the washer, it took a little bit too much from that generator, but I got it going. But that generator was stressing really hard running both motors at once. So when the washer went to go into spin mode, it cooked the generator head of the engine. It literally lost all of its compression just in a few seconds. Just seized the valve. And I think it did ruin one of the valve rockers too. Kind of stuck itself to itself, you know. Ruined its bearing surface. Yeah. That's one of them overhead valve Briggs & Strattons. Pretty good engine. I think it's a Vanguard engine. But they are, just like any of the newer stuff, kind of chintzy. Yep. World needs to get back into building better products. We shouldn't be building crap for ourselves to use. A little bit muddy here, but not too bad. I'm almost into Pinto. Another half a mile or so. Mile probably. I've been out in the open for so long I forget how far a mile is. It's just hop, skip, and a jump to me now. I know it's gorgeous out here, huh? Yep. You're gonna feel that energy I'm spreading around when you come here. You will. It's gonna be 100 times stronger by then, even if it's only a week. I know that sounds like a wrong assumption, but I'm right. It gets a lot stronger and stays that way for a long time. That's why you feel the peacefulness in nature. It manifests and holds that energy on its own with no interferences. But naturally, things in life have become more apparent, closer to nature, that doesn't serve nature with peace. So it's fighting for its survival in that way. That's why people like me were born on this earth. or well, I should say people like me that have been naturally born with what we all know. It takes a long time to manifest it in yourself. It takes years to be an intuitive. Years. Sometimes decades. But if you can do it, you can do it. Do you have a strong sense of intuition? Sensitive emotional status? Sensitive to changes around you? You're an intuitive. You're an empath. Oh, what a beautiful place, huh? Yeah. Called Pinto, little town. I'm trying to decide which way I want to go here. Yeah, I think I'll go right. How long's my video anyway? Okay. How long's the video? Almost 50 minutes. So I'm going to record till I get over to Highway 18, I think. Maybe I guess I'm going to go this way. I have to go this way, I think. For specific reasons, because it takes me closer back to home. And I don't want to waste a lot of gas right now. See? I didn't have as much money as I thought. That's how it goes sometimes. But I'm gonna go ahead and over here for this guy. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take it easy till I get more monies. Then I can buy more gas. But this little bit of fun for today, I think, is all right. Yep, out of town again, if you want to call that a town. Right now I'm going back towards Highway 56. I gotta go wait by my road or where it gets muddy and wait for it to dry up a ways. Maybe take a nap. What I'm thinking I'll do. I don't know if I'm tired or not though. Can never tell till I relax. I got that kind of mobility. Pretty dry here. There's a little road that goes up over the mountains here and over towards Pinto. Used to be able to get through, not no more. I mean, you know, it's, I don't know, somewhere around here is where the road goes up. Maybe past it already. Goes up along the bench here and over there on the other side of the mountains, over to Pinto. It's a neat little drive. Up to a no trespassing sign. Where it's 20 feet through there to the road again. What a jerkwad. I don't mean to be negative, but who does that? Anyway, I went through there anyway because I was low on gas. No one saw me, but you know, still, who does that? Take that sign down, dude. For frick's sake. Anyway. Still got her in the four-wheel drive mode. I don't think it needs it, but I'm being cautious in case it gets muddy anywhere. Don't think it's gonna though. Oop, there goes the bird. My crow, one of the crows. They follow me 400 and 500 miles away. They won't catch up to me right away, and sometimes they'll be ahead of me because they're going over the mountains and stuff. But they guard me everywhere I go. I see them every time, every half an hour or so. Three of them. Little family that thinks of me as family. Crows are really smart birds, and they're inherently protective. So they'll protect you. Make friends with them, you know. They know you love them. They sense that. Really close. Like as if you was hugging them. This video is probably going to be a little over an hour before I get to the highway and end it. But it'll be worth it. The view over here is quite spectacular. I can go a little faster right here. It's not so wet. Top of the pass. See how gorgeous. Yeah, I'll give you a close-up out there before I get too far down the hill. Slide it a little bit, I think. Yeah. Ooh, come on, hold steady, hands. Gorgeous. I love it. I never get tired of that view. Never. Yep. It's even better in certain sunlight, but that sunlight's gone, or over right now. Back to normal zoom mode. There we go. Okay. Easy, baby, easy. Slow down, slow down. The sign is here. It's got a area back there. I think it's a dead end, but 5-10 miles back, something like that. What does it say? 4? Yeah, 4 miles. Pinto Spring. Some camping areas back there, and I guess a hiking area too. Pretty nice. Not the greatest in the world, but not bad for free camping, you know. I do believe you got to get a fire burning permit for when you're camping, though. So you got to go, and we might be in Washington County still. I'm not sure. Their rules might be a little different, but Iron County, you got to get a fire burning permit when you go camping. Keep that in mind. I imagine under an emergency, it wouldn't be a big deal. But if you're doing it for fun, it's just for your own protection. Really, it is. Over that mountain there we're going towards will be about another 5 miles to the highway, I think. Not sure. Here a little ways, there's another turn that goes over to New Harmony. Very gorgeous drive, but it's going to be too muddy right now because the road's not quite as good as this one here and others around here. Some are worse than others, you know. So I'm not going to go that way, but when it's dry, doesn't matter what time of the year you're driving through there, it's a gorgeous drive into New Harmony. Gorgeous. Yep. Better than this, but this is pretty nice too. That one there though, that road, I wouldn't recommend trying to do any recording on that one anyway. There's a lot of sudden uphills and downhills and turns. You gotta watch what you're doing real well. Not nice and straight, mostly like this one. And it's a pretty tight little canyon in some areas. So, yeah. Not seriously tight, but there ain't nothing open wide like this where you can see well. So if a guy's coming up on the other way and he's going fast, you got to be ready. It's a good drive. If I mounted the phone, I'd be alright, I suppose. But it makes it all bouncy. Bouncy video. Really bouncy. Took a nap here once. Woke up and it was snowing. That was an interesting thing to see. When I went to sleep, it was, you know, kind of, sun was going down. Clear sky. Just cold. I woke up 4 in the morning or so. Snow everywhere. That was interesting. Yeah, I got out of here quick, because it was coming down. Lucky for me, I had to take a pee, you know, take a leak real quick, which is what woke me up. Otherwise, I might have been stuck up here till that snow melted. It snowed until 6 o'clock that morning. It was a couple hours, you know. A couple more hours after it was 5 inches. I didn't come back to check because I knew better. I knew there was probably a foot up here or more. Enough to get stuck in. All I gotta do is put a pillow on the side of me and behind my butt, lay down on that pillow in this seat right here, and I sleep nicely. Like a baby in a cradle. Here's a turn that goes through the mountains over to New Harmony. Stop here for a minute, a little slow down and show you up the road here. See, down here it's not as bad, but as you get up in there more, it turns into more of a mud than a gravelly road. Regular dirt, you know. So yeah, don't try it if it's wet weather. This one you'd probably be alright. If it ain't been a real wet spring and, fall and then winter and then spring, because once it thaws, it'll be wet for 4 feet down into the dirt if it's been a really wet year. You can't go nowhere. You can't drive on it. You can turn in some places, not everywhere. People try. I've seen some ruts that you couldn't drive a frickin' monster truck through. I'm joking, of course, but it seems like they're that bad. See that bird go across there? That's a spiritual warning from, that was a smaller bird, that wasn't the crow, but the smaller ones do look after me as well. But that was a spiritual warning. Don't go any faster than you're going. It's not a good idea. They do that for me quite often. The animals will work with you to keep you safe. Always will. It's really no different than what your own dog does for you, if you got a dog. I love dogs, but I have a tendency to like quiet even more than I like dogs. They bark, you know, that's what they do. I can't handle it. But I love them and I like them. And if I had one, I'm sure I'd love him too, you know. I think I can give her a little more gas up this hill right here on the straight part. Not too much. I really thought it'd be a little more wet right here, but maybe the storm didn't hit so hard right here. Ironic in a way. Because it would have been fun having a little buddy on this. A little bit of mud. Oh well. It's a long ways up this hill. I think this is like 3 miles. Of course, we went 2/3 of it already. Back home. I gotta keep my eyes on the road with this unlevel terrain. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't think I need that 4-wheel drive no more. If I need it, I guess I'll put it back on. Couple of rock formations. There in the hills and on the sides. Yeah. Hope this phone don't run out of memory. Getting close to ending the video, but still. More formations up on that mountain there. Little birds go again, telling me not to go too fast. And that, you know, there goes another one. It seems abstract, I know, but it isn't. Check that out. That's where that, I think Pintos threw out down through there somewhere. somewhere. Yeah, I believe so. Or not Pinto, Irontown. Yeah, Irontown, not Pinto. Irontown. Old Irontown. A couple of people live up in this area in private properties. Gotta make sure I'm not going too fast so I don't run into anybody. You never know. See, no trespassing. One of the properties there anyway. I'd say there's about another mile, mile and a half. There's the highway right over there where that train is. The highway's down just lower from there. So, kind of interesting. Yeah. Old road here, but I don't know. I don't know if it goes through there. I don't think it does. 25 mile an hour. I gotta slow her down. There we go. This is where the slow down is at. So that other area I was in is about 30, 35, sometimes 40, you know. But through here there's more residential, so that's why. There's property there, see. It's a ranch, actually. You know, another thing these videos do for me is help me not to light cigarettes, because I can't do that and make a video. I'm not very addicted to them anymore, but quitting is not going to be any easier if I keep smoking them, that's for sure. So thank you guys for helping me to create this opportunity to quit smoking. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for just being here, in fact. I hope you enjoyed the drive. Now we are at Highway 56. Yeah. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. I think I gotta go left. Back home. Which I can't make a video while I'm driving on the highway. Not really. And I wish I could, but then it'd be a really long video. You guys have a good one. Big love. Talk to you later. Bye.